Well, hello, it is that time again. Happy New Year to you all. As always, this is the update video to recap where we've been and see what is to come. Now, we all thought 2020 was a bit of a bummer, and I'm sure most of us hoped that the general suckiness of that year would not carry on into 2021. But well, here we are, 2022, and yeah, it really did, didn't it? Crikey. So, 2022, and if I'm honest, the previous year was not great. It was not a great year for the pub trade. Kind of reflected in the channel, sadly. Now, bit of context, in the end of 2020 we were supposed to lock down for 1 month in November. We were supposed to lock down for November. That lockdown actually ended up lasting till the middle of April, and when the UK unlocked, there was lots of restrictions. So again, like in 2020, a lot of the plans that I'd got to go out and do some bits and bobs, some more on-location stuff, all scrapped. And yeah, there was a bit of a content drought towards the end of the channel's year. That's mostly because of illness at work and me getting dragged in. And if at work, I'm not editing. And at one point, towards the end of the year, I got ill with the, the thing that we're all sick of hearing about. And again, that puts a dampener on your editing, your recording, all that sort of stuff. So, yeah. All things considered, though, the channel has actually done really well this year. First of all, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to the 700 odd people who hit the red subscribe button in 2021. And took me over the threshold for monetisation. So that means that I've now got adverts on my videos, but I did make an executive decision, and let me just go through that now. Now, I'll put this in a community post or on my website, I'm not sure where, but I'll go through it now. I made the decision not to have any mid-roll ads at all, and just stick to the basic ads, because what you're here for is the content, and I don't want to muck you about and waste your time with clicking buttons when you could just watch the content. So that is my philosophy on adverts. Also, any video before 2020 does not get an advert on it, because I just don't feel they're my best work. So I don't feel they're good enough to monetize. So yeah, all my older vids, no ads. The ones now, of course, will have ads on, because I feel, I've improved enough. And they're not going to be intrusive. Eventually, if this thing does take me in a direction where it's not a hobby, I'll look at other ways to monetize the channel, but certainly not going to be plastering ads absolutely everywhere. So at the end of 2021, the channel stood at a whopping 1,540 subs, which is incredible. So thank you to everybody who subscribed, old and new, because you're all showing me that there's still an audience for all this stuff that I love to waffle about. So yeah, it's been a good year for the channel. We also managed to get a collab with Mythology with Mike at the end of the year. Watch his video, it's a good video. So overall, I'm quite happy with where things have gone in the channel. But of course, I could not have done it without all of you lovely people watching, subscribing, commenting. Thank you very much. Just thank you. So with that all in mind, let's talk about what's coming next. Well, the craziness of the festive season is now all done and dusted, and as the dust settles, that means I can get back to a normal-ish video making routine. So it's going to be very similar to how I outlined the channel content in the last update video. So I'll still be continuing with church history and beer history, with a couple of fun videos about something pop culture-y or something sprinkled in between. The next video I've got planned is going to be another beer history one, because that's long overdue. So sorry for all you beer history fans, I am going to be working on that next. I've got to reread a lot of material, because I think there's not much notes knocking about, or it's buried under Christmas cards, I don't know. But beer history's coming next. I've still got a long list of stuff that I was going to cover, but essentially I'm just going to stick to the plan I've laid out in the last update. There's still videos I've got on the back burner. I mentioned the beer cocktail ones. I still want to do them. And I want to do some more practical videos. Stuff like differences between Bible translations and, stuff like that. So please let me know what you think in the comments if you want more practical stuff, because I do read them all. Yeah, so speaking of comments, let's go on to the next section, which is talking about comments. So I will be honest, generally I'm good at answering comments, but at the end of the year I did miss quite a few, and that's thanks to just illness, craziness of Christmas, being stuck at work. So this year I thought I'd pick out a few of the ones that interested me, give them a bit more of a personal answer. I do want you to know though, that I do read all the comments, right? I do read them all. So later on I'll probably go and heart all the comments that I've not interacted with, just to let you know that I am reading them. I do read them all. And while I'm on the note of comments, I do know that theology and beer can be quite heated topics, but guys, I just want to extend a little request, and that is just to be civil with each other. Let's not start any flame wars in there. Be civil with each other, because at the end of the day, that's the environment I want to foster. An environment where we can agree to disagree, but, you know, no name calling or anything like that. Don't make me come in there. So far, you've all been fine, but I just don't want to have to take that step, okay? So, stupid warning's done. Let's go to the first comment. And the first comment is from someone who's asked my opinion on the pseudepigrapha. And this was asked on my Peter video, I believe. Now, I do want to talk about those, but I want to do that in a video all of their own, since the more we get into church history, the more context we're going to need, because more people have more discussions and arguments and things like that. So yeah, I do want to talk about those. Just to put it out there, my church history series and my apostle series, they're meant to be entry level. So that's why I haven't gone too deep into some subjects. But once I'm done with the Apostolic Fathers, I am going to go into this sort of stuff because of context and stuff like that, because there's going to be groups that crop up, ideas that crop up, and other sorts of stuff like that. So yeah, I'll probably cover them in the videos that I do once I've done with the Apostolic Fathers, because the theology is starting to form a bit more as people ask questions as the years go by. So I hope that answers your question. Thank you very much. Great comment. Next up is a general question that I've had quite a lot this year. It's about kegs. More importantly, how long you can keep kegs for, which is useful information given all the lockdowns and all that sort of stuff that's been going on. And I wish that I could say, yeah, just keep them for this long, but I really can't. But the general guide is, if it's a best before date, then you might be alright to extend it because it's just best before, and after that date it degrades. If it's a used by, then it might not, but then it might not be. The best thing to do would probably be to try and get hold of the brewer, because that's what my company did when the lockdowns first happened. They got in touch with the company, and some company said, yes, keep these beers, you can keep them for X amount of time. Others said, no, you can't. So we did actually have some barrels that we could actually keep, but a lot of it we did have to throw away, unfortunately. So as much as I'd love to give a definite answer of, oh yeah, keep them for this long, and kegs do keep a lot longer than you'd think. You know, I can't exactly give a definitive answer. So the best thing to do is just get hold of the brewery if you can, or, you know, some representative from them, and just see what their opinion is, because that's what we did, basically. So yeah, I hope that answers the question. It is a great question, certainly with what's been going on. Sorry I couldn't answer it in more depth, but yeah, that's basically what we did. We asked the brewery. So great question though, guys. Keep them coming. So third is another general topic. I've had quite a few questions and comments about the Dead Sea Scrolls. Now, I know that it is quite heated. It can be a quite heated thing. There's a lot of politically, theologically comments in there. Again, I'll just ask that you be civil, guys. You know, don't attack each other. You've all been fine. Anyway, my comment section's great, to be honest. You guys are ace. You've been really respectful, and I want to thank you for that. Yeah, there are some comments in there about, you know, they think that the Dead Sea Scrolls are fake. That's fair enough, but the general consensus in the theological scholarly community is that they're the real deal. The ones in Israel, anyway. That particular video was about how some museum in Washington DC thought they'd got some real ones, and they hadn't, because the antiquities market is very lucrative. So it's still going on today. You know, there's probably still some bloke wandering around Israel selling a bitless cross or something to some hapless tourist or whatever. And that was the more fascinating thing about the story. That's why I liked it and covered it. Admittedly, the title was a bit clickbaity. I will put that out there. But yeah, that's all I've really got to say on the Dead Sea Scrolls. You know, as far as theologians are concerned, the ones that are in Israel are you know, legitimate, and they're a great tool to help us with our theological studies because it helps with the history of stuff. And last but not least, I've got a question about the Gospel of Judas. How does the Gospel of Judas fit into Judas's story? Well, this is another one of those topics that I want to cover after I've done Apostolic Fathers, because it's one of those things. It's the apocryphal books, because the Bible was not the Bible that we know the Bible as until much, much later. And the Gospel of Judas it's in there. It's in that sort of general thing. So one of the things I want to do, part of this contexty thing, is cover some of the old documents that weren't necessarily well, they're not canon now, but they were certainly distributed a lot, and a lot of people thought they held merit back then, and they get mentioned. Plus, you know, some of it fits into some such stuff like Gnosticism. Certainly the Gospel of Thomas does that. So yeah, I've covered the Gospel of Judas in a separate video, part of the also-rans, if you will. But yeah, great comment, because it all ties in. So yeah, please look forward to that video. I know that's a bit of a cop-out answer. Oh, wait for me video. But yeah, short answer is he kind of doesn't. But the long answer will be answered in that video. So anyway, that's all I've got to say. Hopefully 2022 will be a great year. Again, thank you for all these comments. I love to read them all. Thanks for watching, everybody. It's been a lot of fun making videos for you. Happy New Year. Thank you very much for watching. And I will see you in the next video.